Hi, Kushag. Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So, if you are already here and you can see me and hear me, can you give me a quick yes or no? Am I audible and am I visible? That's my first and only check for you. Also, remember to hit like, share, and subscribe so that, of course, we are on the same page. The subscribe is essential because if you wish to participate in the live chat like all these children here, you need to be subscribed, right? Hi, Kartike. Thank you. It just makes me so happy. Ooh. Hi, Priyanshi. Good evening. All right. So, shall we get started? So today I thought to myself, what is it that we can do? So what I've done is for today's session, I've just got one passage, right? We've been doing two passages in every session. I thought, what can we do? So I've got one passage and we've got lots of questions on that one same passage. So there are questions on vocabulary, there are questions on inference, there are all sorts of questions on that same passage. So I hope that you will find it as exciting to solve as I found it to create, right? Chalo. So let's do this. Hopefully, this will be a lot of fun. I'm saying hopefully because, of course, no poems. Oh, I forgot, yaar, Kushagra. Oh, please. It just slipped my mind that I was supposed to do poems with you. Okay, let me just write it down for the next class that we must have poems. It just totally slipped my mind. My God. I'm just going to. Yes, yes. Next class, I promise I'm going to do poetry with you. I've put it in my calendar. Okay. My bad, guys. It was my fault. I should have done it, but somehow it just slipped my mind. I generally keep these things in my calendar. I don't know why I missed out. My bad. Next class, we will definitely do poetry. Okay. I'll bring out 4 or 5 poems for you and we will discuss them. Okay. My bad. My apologies, guys. My apologies. All right, today it's just a sweet piece of fiction, and then next time we will do that. All right, here is your passage. Take 2 minutes to read it, and then we will discuss it. All right, guys, I hope you're reading this passage. It's a very sweet passage about R.L. Stevenson, Robert Louis Stevenson, who's the writer of Treasure Island and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and all of these. So the author says that 20 years later, in the fall of 1887, Stevenson arrived in New York, a global celebrity. So he was very famous. Huh? In the last 4 years, he had published Treasure Island, Kidnapped, A Child's Garden of Verses, and also Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, an adaptation of which had just premiered on Broadway. So reporters, publishers, and fans crowded him before he could get off the ship. And for all his youthful longing for recognition, he found this fame very idiotic. He had come seeking health rather than publicity. He was looking for being healthy. For nearly 3 years, he'd been too sick to leave his house on the English coast. The doctor had told him that he likely wouldn't survive another winter in the British Isles. He often wrote in bed, or when he was in too much pain, he would dictate to a scribe. When the bloody cough of his lung hemorrhages kept him from speaking, he composed by signing. Imagine the persistence of this man. He is not able to speak, so he's signing letter, alphabet by alphabet to somebody, and who's they're writing it down. But the sickness that once detached him from life had now made him greedy for experience. So, making the most of the brief periods of relative health, he accumulated several lifetimes worth of adventure. He canoed through France and Belgium, backpacked across a French mountain range with a very stubborn donkey, got arrested, started a forest fire in California, tried deep sea driving, crossed the globe to propose to a married woman. So many things. Order north this time, Stevenson traveled with his family to Saranac Lake in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York, where the American Lung Association founder Dr. Trudeau was researching and treating tuberculosis. Despite persistent illness, he was far removed from the young invalid who felt he had outlived his own usefulness. By this time, he had married, taken on stepchildren, lost his father, grieved friends. The man who has family, friends, and honorable work to live for cannot tamely die without, accepting defeat, rejecting defeat. Though he would always be susceptible to bouts of depression and despair, he resolved to fight illness in order to bear and forbear, help and serve, love, and let himself be loved for some years longer in this rugged world. What a lovely thought, no? That here is this man, he's been so ill and he's not even able to get up, and he's still signing up out the books. And he says that he must fight because he has the love of his family. He wants to love them and all of that. And therefore, why he cannot accept defeat tamely. Beautiful thought. All right, here you are. Reporters, publishers, and fans crowded Stevenson before he could get off the ship. What does crowded Stevenson mean? Observed him quietly, ignored him, assisted him, surrounded him closely. All right, tell me. All right, I'm getting D as the answer. Priyanshi, Kartike, Kushagra, Adrija. Others, what's your answer? Of course, to crowd someone is to surround him very, very closely. That should be the correct answer. All right, he found the experience of fame idiotic to the last degree. What does idiotic to the last degree mean? Slightly annoying, somewhat unusual, mildly pleasing, extremely foolish. Okay, Priyanshi says D. Kartikeya says D. Kushagra says D. Adrija also says D. Others are not answering. Guys, please answer. Yes, he found the experience of fame idiotic to the last degree, means absolutely idiotic. So, therefore, extremely foolish, stupid, silly, whatever. He composed by signing letter by letter, drawing printed letters, whispering faintly, using hand signals, or writing with flourish. What did he do? Okay, I'm waiting for your answers for question number 3. Come on, guys. Kushagra says 3D. Kushagra, you're asking me or telling me? Kartikeya says A. Priyanshi says A. Adrija says D. Oh, I'm getting different answers. That's interesting. He composed by signing letter by letter. Did he sign it like this? No. He was signing letters with his hands. So this is C, this is A, this is B, whatever, right? So using hand signals, right? And therefore the correct answer will be C and not A, not D. No, Matty, he's not drawing, he's signing, no? He's not able to speak, he's not able to do anything. So he's just signing the letters. Okay, so that. All right. He accumulated several lifetimes worth of adventures. What does that mean? He gained many experiences, he imagined many journeys, he repeated similar trips, he avoided risky travels. Yes, sign language wala sign. Kartikeya says 4A, Priyanshi also says A, Adrija also says A, Kushagra also says A. Yes. So he had a lot of adventures, so gained many experiences, enough for a lifetime. All right, he married and taken on stepchildren. What does that mean? What do you mean by take on? Yeah, okay, five. The correct answer you guys are saying is B. Let me also go through it. Yes, take on. Take on means to accept responsibility. Okay. So if he has taken on stepchildren's, then he has accepted parental duty. Correct. All right. He resolved to fight illness. What does that mean? What do you mean by he resolved to fight illness? All right. So many of you are saying that A is the correct answer. Let's take a look. Resolved. Yes, he chose to fight firmly, not tried to rest, not waited without action, and not accepted defeat. He wanted to fight it, right? So, therefore, yes. So, 6 questions of vocab. Same passage. I'm now going to. Yeah, hi, Hari. All right. Same passage, no change, nothing. There are now some questions on other things. Why did Stevenson travel to New York in 1887? Let's get this one. Okay, let's take a look. So he decided to recover his health in a better climate. Yes, not to negotiate, not to oversee, not to escape politics. Absolutely. He traveled to New York to recover his health. He had gone there. What does the passage suggest about Stevenson's attitude towards fame? He believed it was essential. He considered fame a necessary but enjoyable burden. He preferred He enjoyed fame but preferred privacy occasionally. He found it overwhelmingly foolish and unpleasant. Okay, Priyanshi says D. Kartikeya says C. Kushagra says D. I'm getting different answers. That's interesting. Adrija says D. So he had found idiotic to a degree, right? He had found fame idiotic to a degree. So can you believe it was essential? No. Was it an enjoyable burden? Idiotic. He enjoyed fame? No. He found it overwhelmingly foolish and unpleasant, correct? So answer will be D. Okay, which of the following describes Stevenson's physical conditions during the year before arriving in New York? Let's get your answers in. I created three sets of 6 questions each. The first was vocab, the second is general questions, and then the third is all inferential questions on the same passage. So, what was wrong with his health? Yes, Kushagra says B. Priyanshi says B. Hari says B. Adrija says yes, B is correct. That he was on the bed. Sometimes he was not even able to speak. So, he suffered severe illness that limited his mobility, and that's the correct answer. Why does the author list Stevenson's many adventures, canoeing, backpacking, diving, etc.? To emphasize how illness motivated him to seek experiences, to show that he preferred physical activities over writing, to suggest he behaved recklessly towards his health, to argue that these adventures harmed his literary work. Which of these is correct? Okay, everyone has given me A as the answer, and yes, illness did motivate him to seek experiences, and that's what the passage was about. All right, what change does the passage highlight in Stevenson's outlook by the time he reached Saranac Lake? He believed his career was finished, he felt entirely cured, he saw new reasons to keep living and fighting illness, he became indifferent towards his family and obligations. Yes, 10, the correct answer as you've given me was A. What about question number 11? Kartikeya says C. Agra also says C. Adrija also says C. Yes, he saw new reasons to keep living and fighting illness. He was married, he was happy, he had stepchildren, he had a full family. So therefore, he wanted to live. So therefore, answer will be C. Okay, question number 12. What overall impression of Stevenson does the passage create? A reckless traveler who cared little, a sickly man who allowed despair to dominate his life, a determined writer who sought purpose despite illness, a reluctant author more famous for misfortune than talent. Is that so? All right, the correct answer here, guys, will be C, a determined writer who sought purpose despite illness. He was going all out to do whatever he could. All right, let's now come to the inferential questions from the same passage, guys. So the passage remains the same. If you want, you can take a photo of the passage if you want, right? And now we will go to the questions. Okay, you can take a minute. All right, chalo, let's do this. Here, for nearly 3 years, he'd been too sick to leave his house on the English coast. His family discouraged him. He chose isolation. He avoided medical treatment. His illness significantly restricted his independence. What's the answer to question number 13? The correct answer, yes, that his illness significantly restricted his independence. So for 3 years, he'd been too sick to leave his house. Also means that now he was able to leave his house, correct? So that's also important. Okay, he found the experience of fame idiotic to the last degree. What can be inferred from this statement? He felt overwhelmed and frustrated. He believed fame was necessary. He wanted to increase his visibility. He enjoyed interacting with reporters and fans. Okay, Priyanshi says A, Kartikeya also says A, Kushagra also says A, Adrija also says A. Hari, what was your answer? Correct. That it was idiotic. He was frustrated by all this fame and attention. Very good. When the bloody cough of his lung hemorrhages kept him from speaking, he composed by signing. He relied entirely on others to complete his work. His condition prevented him from thinking clearly. His commitment to writing persisted despite severe illness. He attempted to hide the severity of his symptoms. Okay, all four of you say C is the correct answer. His commitment to writing persisted. Yes, he composed by signing. So that means he was doing sign language also. All right. His sickness made him greedy for experience. What can be inferred from this statement? He stopped engaging in any adventurous activity. He lost interest in learning or exploring. He preferred predictable, safe environments. He began valuing life more intensely because of illness. Yes, all of you are right. He began valuing life more intensely because of his illness. By this time, he had married and taken on stepchildren, lost his father, grieved his friends. What can be inferred? His life lacked meaningful relationships. He had developed deeper emotional responsibilities. He avoided forming close connections with others. He remained uninfluenced by major personal losses. Ah, he remained uninfluenced. No, avoided forming close connections. His life lacked meaning. No, he had deeper emotional responsibilities. Correct. He was responsible for the stepchildren. He took on that responsibility willingly. All right. The man who has family, friends, and honorable work to live for cannot tamely die without defeat. What can be inferred? He believed work obligations were burdensome. He thought illness should be ignored entirely. He believed purpose and relationship gave strength against suffering. He felt he had nothing worth fighting for. All right, I think 18 is C. Now I'm getting the feeling that I've given you a very easy passage, na? Just because you knew the meanings of these words and phrases, the questions became so easy for you to understand and interpret, wasn't it? So, the minute you know the meanings of words, it becomes very easy to infer things, it becomes very easy to interpret, it becomes very easy to understand. Also, the passage was not that chota, just CLAT level only chota, not very chota. Yeah, that yes, Kartike, the options. Okay, so the next time I'm going to give you tougher options. Let's do that. Let me take that as a challenge and give you tougher questions. All right? The signing one. Yes. Done, done, done. Poems, yes, the next class will be poems only. Let me do that because I really wanted to do the poems thing and we'll do that. Okay. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. I have some announcement to do. Okay, CLAT sprint, of course, you already are aware that the batches are on. Siddharth Mehta, Manoj Davrani, and Priyanka Singh, who are mentors of AR 1, 3, and 8, are doing this batch. 5 concept classes. Batches started on 8th of August. CLAT sprint, you can prepare for CLAT in just 4 months. The test series is on, which is closest to the actual exam pattern. 14 All India mocks, video solutions of select mocks, in-depth performance analysis. Enroll right away, guys. For inquiry, of course, this is your number, 8130038836. Okay. You have any questions? Done, done, Priyanshi. Challenge accepted. Challenge is accepted totally. Okay. Yes, done. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next Thursday, same time, same place. That is Thursday, 5:30 p.m. on the CLLST channel on YT. Take care. Bye bye. Bye, guys. Poems next week. That's my promise. And challenging stuff, huh?